Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for pool opening 2024 part 9, opening up the filter. Now that we've had an achievement unlocked in part 7, opening the skimmers, and we've added shock to the pool, we're on our way to sanitizing and killing the stuff, but what we need now is to filter that stuff out. So now we're going to start the filter up. Let's take a look at the equipment, see what we're up against, and what you need to do. So let me show you what the parts of the filter are. You got this top piece. It's got a gauge on it. If your gauge isn't there, screw it into there, because otherwise water's going to shoot out. You have this manual air relief. It may look different, but it lets water out to let the air out, and then you'll get water. Further down on the filter, you have the band clamp. Better off not touching that if you don't have to. We won't need to. And at the bottom is what I like to call the bung. They call it plugs, but the correct term is a bung, because this is essentially a barrel. Okay? Now, I put this plug in here when I installed all the equipment, but I had noted that the O-ring on it was kind of grody looking. There's a little water there. That's okay. The O-ring was kind of, it's getting bad. It's getting bad. There's cracks in it, but that's all right. Because I got me a whole box of them. There's like 6 of them in here. See? Exactly the same. We'll pull one out. All brand new. Shiny. Got a good O-ring on it. That's what we need. And now, we're going to put this in. Now once again, like I had shown, hand tight only. Screw it right in. And that's it. Yes, it's in a different orientation than the other one. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It fits, it works. You will see some people take a screwdriver and stick it in between there and wrench on it. And then, after you do that, you're going to go back in this box and get another one out, because you broke it. Hand tight only. If for some reason it's too tight and you can't loosen it, then yes, go ahead, put a screwdriver in there and undo it. But don't tighten it with one, because you'll definitely break it. Alright. Everything's all set. Filter's reading 0 because it's not on yet. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So here's what we do. Let's come over here. First thing is shut the pump off. Very important. You do not ever want to move that handle while the pump is on. You hear all them water sounds? Probably a good idea to just let everything settle for a minute. It takes a while to drain down. It's okay. That's probably good enough. Just as long as nothing's turbulent. And now, simply all we're going to do is turn that handle over to filtration mode. Before we do that, we got to talk. We got to talk about the kind of filter you have. You might have a cartridge filter. That's the kind of one in that stupid backless vacuum that you were conned into buying. Back in the 90s, it was through an infomercial, and now it's, you saw it somewhere, and probably an online thing, and someone you like has one, and it's actually a piece of garbage, but they're getting a kickback from it, and then you can't get the filters in that. Well, that you can get the filters for, but if you got to change that, then you change it when you need to. You might have a sand filter. I don't have one of those. That uses sand. But that's not the kind this is. This is a DE, or Diatomaceous Earth Filter. This filter is purported to be one of the best kinds. Inside the filter itself are a series of grids. There's, I don't know, 8 of them, something? I don't know how many. Depends on the size of it. Those grids are spiny looking structures, and they have a fabric mesh over them. Any fabric has little tiny holes in it. But the problem is the particulate matter in the pool is even smaller than those holes, so it can go right through. Will it filter without the DE in there? Yep. Just not very well. So you add the DE, and that coats the grids in there and makes those little tiny holes even smaller to catch the dirt. Eventually, there's going to be too much junk in the filter, and then you backwash it. That's for a later time. We don't need to do that because it was backwashed before I shut the pool down, which is good practice. So everything's ready to go. So very simply at this point, we're going to turn the handle over to filtration. So let me make sure everything's good. Again, we spoke about this in an earlier part about which way you can turn the handle. And again, we found that you can turn it clockwise. And as soon as you do that, somebody says no, only counterclockwise. And then as soon as you turn it counterclockwise, somebody says no, only clockwise. The answer is it doesn't matter. Whatever the shortest route is just fine. If you want to go all the way around one way, the long way, feel free. But I'm going to go the short way. So on recirculate, over here is filtration. So that's where we're going to go. Push down. You'll hear water. Turn the filtration and lock it in. Okay. Very good. The filter is now engaged. We're going to go, let me move the camera. All right, we're ready to go. Doesn't matter which way you do this, you're going to have to open the air relief. Because you want to get all that air out. You can turn the pump on first. You can open that up. I'll turn the pump on first, and then we're going to open it as the pump is pumpalizing. Pump needs to catch prime because we just introduced a lot of air into it. Take just a second. It's picking up right now. Now we'll open the air relief. You hear air. This entire thing is filling up with water. It's going to take a minute. When water shoots out, we're going to close it. Now hopefully it'll just shoot out good. Yes, very nice. So just let that run for a second or two. Get any gunk out of there, which I see is on the house. And we'll shut her down. Alright, we have some other air circulating through. Now we're going to take a look at the pressure gauge. This can vary from year to year, from time to time, all different stuff. Right now the filter is reading about 20, almost 22, we'll call it 22. That's going to be our baseline. Your gauge may not have this. This one does. You can turn that. We'll set that right where the pointer is. That's not actually a great indication right now because as soon as we put DE in, that's going to go up. That's okay. When you put the DE in, with the amount of talking we've done just now, it's ready. Let's go. Over here I have some DE in a dilapidated cardboard box because it gets that way sitting out. Not in the rain, but exposed-ish. We'll open that up. First thing you're going to need is a DE scoop. Let me get mine here. That's this thing. How much does it hold? I don't know. Next question, can I use an old coffee can? Do you want to be that guy? You can buy the scoop. It's going to be a couple of dollars, and you'll have it for 10 years, if not even more. Just buy one. We have to put in the appropriate amount of DE. Now let's talk about DE. It's this powdery stuff. Real powdery, kind of looks like flour. There's going to be people on the internet that are going to tell you that this stuff is carcinogenic. Is it? Okay, we'll say yeah. There's going to be people on the internet that are going to tell you that you shouldn't breathe this stuff. Is that a bad idea? Yes. But these same people are going to be the ones to tell you to make sure that you put on a hazmat suit, have the fire department on hand just in case of an explosion from putting chlorine in the pool earlier, in case this interacts with it. There's so much false information out there. It's very simple. Don't eat the stuff. Don't taste the stuff. Wash your hands after you're done. Don't breathe the dust. You're going to be fine. There's a million ways to die. This is just one more. Just be careful with it. That's all it is. Simple stuff, people. You don't touch a hot stove. How did you? You learned the hard way, didn't you? Yep, you sure did. Do accidents happen? Yep, they sure do. And it sucks when they happen, but hey, they happen. How much DE do we add? Well, that you're going to have to look up. This particular filter, I think, is a Hayward DE 3820. 3820 refers to the amount of area inside the filter itself with the grids and all that. We're going to round that up. 3820, round it up to the next biggest whole number, 4,000. Take off 3 zeros. 4. That's how many scoops of DE we're going to put in. Now, can you go more or less? Well, let's start doing it first. So we've got a nice full scoop of DE. Then there's going to be people that say, oh, sprinkle it in carefully, sprinkle it in carefully. Well, before I do that, there's just a lot of like leaves and grass and stuff. Let me just get rid of that because I don't want that in there. We'll leave the basket. That'll actually be helpful. Just quick. All right. So they say, oh, sprinkle it in carefully. The rule of thumb is put it in as fast as the plumbing can take it. How fast can the plumbing take it? Well, here's how fast. Watch. It's gone. That fast. 3 more. There's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. And these are healthy scoops. In other words, they're heaping a bit. Okay, that's all the DE we need. You, again, need to look that up and find out what your particular filter takes. If you have a DE filter, of course. If not, then this wasn't the right video to watch. You should have known that because it said in the title. All right, we got excess stuff here, so let's get that in. There is no substitute for DE. That's what it calls for, that's what it takes, that's what you got to use. Now here, watch. Look how much is in there. Not good. So real easy, elbow wash. And we'll just keep doing that. There we go, nice and clean. I'll leave that out for a second. Let the water kind of, make its way through there. And once again, just like I did with the shock, I like to get in here and make sure there's no excess DE around, just to make sure everything's good. Just the tiniest bit. I do a little whirlpool in there. That's good. Dump out what the rest is in there, and that's really it. That's all there is to adding DE to the filter. You're good to go. So now what? Well, let's talk. Taking a look at the pool, it's green, it's grody, it's dirty, and it's disgusting. What we just did was get the filter running, and in earlier parts we got some chlorine in here. Chlorine is going to help to kill all this green stuff, the algae. I don't know who Algae is, but I did not invite him to my pool. He shows up every year, this guy. I can't get rid of him. I think it's nature or something. The chlorine is not going to whiten and brighten your pool. It's not just going to be a magic thing where it's going to go away. What we're actually seeing here, the water is actually quite clear. Because if we take a look over here in this corner, now ignore all the black looking stuff at the bottom. That we're going to get out later, but take a look at the side. See how it's blue like it should be? The water is pretty clear. It's murky, it's cloudy, but that's what the filter is for. We're going to now let this water circulate and be filtered through the filter for time. How much time? Well, this ain't an overnight thing. It's not a couple hour thing either. And what's going to happen after you leave this for a while is it's probably going to look about the same. The water clarity, in other words, the murkiness of it, will probably go away, and it'll get a lot less cloudy. Perfect? No. But that's going to continue on later. Like I said, the chlorine is not going to turn all this green to blue. It just doesn't work that way. It's still in the pool, and you have to get it out of the pool. The only way to get that out of the pool is to vacuum the pool. Now we're going to be doing that, but again, like I said, I want the water clarity to improve, and that's simply going to take time. I don't know, it depends on the size of your pool, how strong your pump is, how many gallons per hour, stuff like that. And you can actually calculate out based on how many gallons, it's all kinds of mathematical stuff. You got to figure out how many gallons are in your pool, how many gallons per hour the pump moves, and then you can figure out how many times it turns the water over in the pool. I hate that term because it doesn't turn, the water's staying there. It doesn't turn upside down. Why don't you turn it over? They mean get it out of the pool and back in. But how do we know that the little, there's an ounce in the corner here? How do we know that ounce went? We don't. So like I said, it's kind of a dumb term. But we need, this has to have some time to go. And how long? It's up to you. It depends how fast you want the pool up and running. If you rush this, you're going to be sorry. If you take your time with it, you're not going to be sorry. So leave it for a bit. As it stands now, it's probably, 1, 2 in the afternoon, something like that. I didn't see the time. Sun says it's about 1-ish. And I'm going to leave this for the rest of the day. Pool runs another 7 hours today. So it'll get 7 hours of filtration today. Tomorrow, I'm going to leave the pool alone. Not going to touch the thing. Just let it do its thing. Go through the filter, all that. And we're going to let that cook. Thursday, because today's Tuesday, might I get into vacuuming? I don't know. The days don't matter because this video could end up on any day of the week. But 2 days from now, I might get back into it. If not, then the next day certainly. So we want to leave this for a good day or two, maybe even 3. Now we got to go back over to the filter. First of all, make sure that that didn't explode from adding chlorine earlier or something that they tell you on the internet. And we also want to check the pressure. That's important. Well, the sun is just at the wrong angle right now. First of all, check for leaks. No, we're good. The wetness here was from before when we opened the thing up. What's our pressure read now? Well, it actually went down a little bit. It's hanging right on 20. So we can just readjust that. it might go up or down a little bit. Another thing that I can do now is start heating the water up in the pool. I know it's not exactly clean, but let's go ahead and do that, because that on this particular pool changes the pressure reading. Now we have to start with that number 20 as the baseline. And the idea is when the pointer reads up to the red, maybe a little before, not really that much after, it's going to be time to backwash. But now that I've opened up the solar, which is halfway open, recorder's the way open, takes a little time. Now it's open. We're going to get some air going through here. Let me back you out. So all the pipes are jiggling and doing stuff, and it's got to get all this air purged. Once it does that, we can see. Let's just take a look while we're here. Yeah, oh, it already jumped to 22 just by turning that on. So you kind of want to get a baseline in a particular state and stick with it. So when I check the pressure, I'll come out here and I'll say, whoa, that's too higher than it used to be. Oh wait, the solar's on. Right, let me shut that and check it. So you have to be in the same state that you were in. If you have a heater or anything else, other stuff in the water circuit, that can impact this. There's still air, which is perfectly normal as that gets out from the solar. Did we go up anymore? Just a shade, if anything. It's like 20.0389 repeating. Somewhere in there. There. Now it's all open and good. We have our base pressure again. We're going to wait until the pressure reads up to the red, or thereabouts. Could be a little before or after. And once you hit that, then it's time to backwash. That's going to be in a later part of this series. We spoke about how much DE you have to add before. Let's see if I was right. Oh, this is a 4820, pardon. So officially in that case, 4820, we'd round to 5. But like I said, I did kind of heaping scoops, so we got 4.5 to 5. We're good. It's not an exact science. Here's the deal with the DE. If you add more DE, you'll get better filtration, but you're going to have to backwash more often. Less DE, you won't get as good filtration, but you also won't have to backwash as often. So that means that you probably want to kind of go on the higher end of the scale in the beginning part of the season, getting the pool cleaned up, and then you can back it off as the days and weeks go by. Each time you backwash, you'll have to replenish the DE, and when you do that, you know, you can do, I think what I'll probably end up doing is 4 level ones. That's pretty much it. Everything's up and running. Everything's good. Pool is now heating. It's filtering. It's got chlorine in it. And in a couple days' time, with any luck, it'll look even better than it is now. No promises on that, because like I said, the real magic happens when you vacuum. And that most likely, unless something explodes here, is going to be the next part. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.